do you feel like the mindset of this team is right now, and just how confident are y'all going to that?
Yeah, I think we're in a really good space right now. I mean, the team has we played together really well this off season. I'm off out of conference, and now we're in conference. We're playing together well, so I think we're meshing together well. Being able to be at home for a big game like this, I mean, Tennessee is a really good team, and I mean, we are the underdogs since they were picked second to finish in SEC. So we're just going in with a positive mindset and doing whatever it takes to win.
Angel, after the game the other night, you tweeted about your style of play and how some people judge you or whatnot. Is anything you want to elaborate? Who are you trying to reach with that, and who do you feel like, judges you and your style of play?
Yeah, I mean, it's just for everybody out there. I mean, just normalizing women talking trash and being able to play out there and not taking it personal. I mean, that's the game I've loved. I'm from Baltimore, so that's what we do there. So for the little girls out there that like to show passion and be competitive and just be who you are, it's okay, and don't let anybody else tell you that it's not. So that's what I am.
Speaking of competitive, the last game I think was the first time you guys had trailed late in a ball game. How good was it to be pushed, right, and then to have to kind of find out what you're made out of?
Yeah, I think we needed that. It showed a lot of leadership and who was going to step up and be those leaders. And I think everyone did their role and played that. I mean, we listened to the coaches, of course, but I think on the court we did a really great job staying together, staying composed. Alexis held us together and just told us just don't panic, like just stay together. And I think we needed that early on.
You mentioned playing well together throughout the season. From where you started to now, I mean, y'all didn't know a lot of each other. There was a lot of learning to do and playing together. And now people are regarding you as a top team in the country and a national contender. What do you think led y'all to this point that y'all were able to find that chemistry? Because it's not just talent. Obviously, that's a big part of it. And how far can y'all go?
Yeah, I mean, I think just needing all 12 players, everybody on the team plays a role from top to bottom. So everybody knowing their role, being able to come together at the right time, knowing what we can do, our weaknesses and our strengths, and then coming back to practice. I think something about this team that I've never been a part of is a team that can critique each other and just be on each other so hard and not be personal. So I love that about each other. We push each other. We work hard in practice. So we're going to go as far as we can take us.
Angel, you showed us that you admired Simone from afar. Was there another player that came before her that you patterned yourself after, or that made you love the game, maybe before Simone, or even more than Simone?
Yeah, I've always looked at players like, of course, Simone, Sylvia, Maya Moore, um, Candace Parker, just like bigger players like that, big guards. So I like to call myself a big guard. So, but just being able to see those kind of players, and I've always watched the WNBA, even when I was just in middle school and elementary school. So yeah.
What about the NBA?
Yeah, Kevin Durant. He's from the DMV, so I've always watched Kevin Durant. Giannis, Coach G thinks my game is like Giannis Antetokounmpo. So being able to be those versatile players and being able to guard all five positions, I kind of study their game.
I saw your tweet last night about Maya. Just kind of a follow-up for the trip yesterday. Just it was something we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Obviously, it resonated with you. Something that you could see maybe in the future for you. Just kind of elaborate on that.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, like, I mean, I don't think I want to be a lawyer, but I mean, I don't know who's in there for that is wrongly convicted, but being able to see those people and just seeing they're still human. Like, they have made a mistake for sure, and that's not an excuse for anything that they did. They had killed people. They've done what they did, but I've seen just looking in their eyes and just feeling. I was just like feeling how much they know that there's another life for them and they do want a second chance. So I mean, if that time does come for me down the road, I would love to do that. But just yesterday was just an amazing experience from our team. We wanted to go. Like we wanted to go. We wanted that experience, and I think that it changed a lot of people perspective of what a prison looks like, because you never know with those people in that. You see it on TV, but you don't really know what it's like. And being able to go there yesterday, I mean, I loved it. I really loved it.
Angel, when you were deciding to transfer here to LSU, did you have this, I guess with this start, did you envision it would start off like this? And,
No.
and how surprised are you that it's at to this point currently right now?
I didn't know what to expect when I came here. I just wanted a new start, and that's what I got. And I feel like I've grown as a woman. I think I've grown in places. My mindset, my leadership, my mentality on a lot of things has grown. I didn't know what I was going to be able to do on the court, whatever came to me, but I wanted to come here to grow, just to grow into a better person and kind of change the perspective to me because I have made mistakes in my past. So just being able to change that under a coach like this is something that could help me.
And so now that you're halfway through the SEC schedule, how have teams tried to defend you? What have you seen from other defenses, and how have you tried to
Ooh, I've been double
adjust from that?
teamed. I've been shirt grabbed. I mean, it's tough, and I need it. I need it, of course, going into these big games. I mean, Tennessee, they're a big crew, they're a big team. So being able to see that early, I've been double teamed. But I think in practice, my teammates, the scouts, the scout team, dream team, they push me hard and they work hard to make sure that I'm ready for that in the game. So it's been
Look,
good.
there's a classic. I don't know if anybody saw it, but in the Alabama game, they look at you sometimes, help me, coach, help me. Well, I can call plays to help them. But Angel comes to me, and she literally is like right here on me trying to show me how they're guarding me, and they're grabbing me here. I said, Angel, I see it. I'm working the ref. You just keep a cool head in a hot game. But it was priceless. That's going to be one of those moments when I'm in my rocking chair. It was like she just had to make me feel what she was feeling in that moment. I don't know if anybody saw it.
Yeah.
But
They
it was cute. She was frustrated. But I said, baby, I'm watching everything that's taking place out there. And it was one of those moments during that game where she just wanted me to feel what it felt like, I guess.
We got time for one more for Angel.
I guess we'll stay on that theme then because it's hot. Has anybody talked to you about reaching out to Shaq? Obviously, that's something that we talk with Coach about in the post game, but you're going to deal with a lot more of that, right? It's only going to get worse as they try to frustrate you and get you out of your game.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to Shaq only one time when I was at the Alabama LSU game, so I haven't really been able to talk to him. And I don't know if he's watching the games and seeing what's going on, but I would love to talk to him. And I'm sure he has went through these same things. I mean, being a bigger player and bigger than a lot of people on the court. I mean, I'm sure you just have to kind of stay composed. I try to get to the coaches like, Coach, please, like, talk to the refs because I'm trying to stay cool. I'm trying to stay cool, but I think that's growth. I mean, freshman year, I probably would have pushed somebody back, but being a junior now and being able to go through these things, I think I've changed a lot and I think I've matured a lot.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank you.
All right, open it up for questions for Coach.
Same question I had for Angel, just the being pushed like that late in a ball game, needing to find out what you're really made of kind of thing. What did you like about it?
Well, you like the fact that you won, but even if we had not won, I got to see some kids in timeouts speak up other than Angel Reese. I got to see some leadership from some other players. And sometimes that doesn't surface until you're backed in a corner. In fact, that timeout, we were down 3. And Alexis Morris calmed everybody down. They like to go at each other, and I love that too, but it was a moment where she's older. She can get in there and make the big shot, and she did. I thought the best thing of the whole game, other than winning, was I didn't have to be the leader. They were the better leaders on the floor that night.
Hi, Coach. What can you say about Flage's game and her impact on the court as a true freshman?
Well, I've said it many times. I don't know. I don't study the game in detail across the country on impact freshmen. All I can speak to is what she means to us. Look at the minutes played and look at production, and I think it speaks for itself.
Kim, throughout your coaching career, have there been players that have sort of done things to allow you to maybe feel just a little bit younger than what you actually are? And is Angel one of those? We obviously have seen this this TikTok that you made an appearance in. I'm just wondering, like, if have there been certain players that just kind of bring a little more youthfulness out of you?
Well, these God, it's almost 40 years, 23 as a head coach, and you add another, golly, a long time. They have that relationship with me. What you guys see is game time, game face, intensity. We have those moments in the locker room. We have those moments in film room. The things that come out of my mouth, they're like, Coach, you could be a comedian. That TikTok deal, somebody sent that to me, and I said, did you say tick fall? Maybe I should start that, right? That's where I'm from. Let's do a tick fall deal, right? we were walking off the court after practice at Alabama, and they were getting dressed, and, you know, as they all do, they turn their music on, and they're doing stuff, and they said, come here, coach. So I go over there, and they said, just do what I'm doing. And so that's hard to do, to just follow somebody, and that's how that got started. And then I guess, is it viral? Is that the new word? Everything goes viral, whatever that means. I've had viral infections before, but, you know, I don't know. So anyway, I mean, that's why I have young coaches. The young coaches keep me abreast of things. The players keep me abreast of things. And but I do dance. I dance much better than that. But yeah, I followed their lead pretty good, I guess.
Hi, Kim.
Hey, babe.
Long time no see. Did you envision 20 games in when you started the season that you would be at this point with this group and kind of how they've been able to kind of, you know, kind of mesh and get to this point? Did you envision this at the beginning of the season that it was going to look like this now?
You know the answer to that. Absolutely not. I knew we had talent. I knew we brought in some really good transfers. But, you know, the most talented teams don't win. You got to work. You got to be on the same page. And it's a schedule that allowed us to gain some confidence. We've taken a lot of criticism because of it, but the criticism doesn't affect us. Just get better. Rebuild this program to an elite level. Get fans in the stands. Beat somebody maybe along the way you weren't supposed to beat. We have that opportunity Monday. We're not supposed to beat Tennessee. They were picked number 2 in this league preseason. They have more depth than we do. So it's going to be quite a challenge, but I knew we had the talent. But you don't write down, oh, our goal is to go undefeated. we got to go to South Carolina. Nobody's capable of beating them. They're that good. You just hope that you can stay close.
Two-part question. What is the thing that the team has developed since it started that has made you the most proud? What is it doing that's made you the most proud? And has what happened with that schedule changed the way you think about scheduling? Is it not as important, or is it?
Slow down, Jim. First question, I'm going to try to remember your second one. Your first question, has anything surprised you? They're all pretty new other than Alexis, how they have really bought into understanding the value of defense and rebounding. And it shows in our stats. And that's not something a lot of kids want to buy into. They just want to look at the offensive end of the floor when choosing a school. And those were things that were discussed with all of them. You will stay on the floor, for me, if you can't shoot a lick, but you can defend. Dee Richards is an example of that. That kid wasn't on the floor for her offense. She could disrupt the entire flow of a game because of her defense. That has been a pleasant surprise this early with this many new players. Now, what was the second part of your question?
Well, it was my first question was more, what was you most proud of that they've done, and you answered that.
Mm-hmm.
But has it changed your idea of what it means to schedule that you went through a relatively weak schedule, but still it didn't really hurt you?
I'm not a coach that sits and studies analytics. I don't mind telling anybody. I think in the world of sports, and I'm going to use baseball because that's what my kid plays, the day a coach or a GM or people can't sit at a ball game and use their eyes to analyze the heart of a kid, is that kid a winner, and they use analytics, I just can't do that. I can't do that. I know my team. I know our strengths and weaknesses better than anybody, and I'm not going to ever allow the outside people to decide who I should and shouldn't play. And I've never done that. I've been very careful. I learned from the best. Don't ever overschedule. The problem you have now is what? The transfer portal. Good or bad, it can affect. Well, when I did this schedule, we had these players. By the time summer was over, they left. So then you go back, well, under schedule and just keep bringing some new ones in, and then you can be criticized for under scheduling. none of that matters to me. Just win the next ball game. If you win, all that takes care of itself. We have a 2-3 net. What are we? I don't know. Okay, whatever our net is, that's the big thing. It replaced RPI, and I think our net's good based upon what we have accomplished thus far.
It's 3. Again.
There you go.
So, obviously, you've had a lot of great teams. What similarities does this team have to some of your great teams, and what things do you still need to try to build on to be great?
Got to keep getting players. You can never have enough great players, enough depth. Similarities are what I just said. They buy into the system. They buy into what's important to us as a coaching staff. But I think they bought in when they came here. There are no secrets with me. When I sit with you, I'm going to tell you where you're going to play. I'm going to tell you what we do. You're going to come watch us play. You're going to watch film. This is how you get on the floor. And all of them know all that when they come here. And maybe occasionally you might have to change position depending on depth or something that happened, because you've got those that could be a 3/4, but I really need you to stay at the 4, things like that. Talent is very good. I have a wide range of personalities, and I think a lot of people across the country thought, how are you going to coach that many strong personalities? And I was like, I'm pretty strong, got my own personality. And for them to follow my lead in that locker room and yet be themselves, it's making for a fun year. It's making for a fun year.
Hey, Coach, Tennessee obviously comes in 8-0, but have lost games to really good teams. Just what have you seen from them, and they have UConn tonight, and just what do you expect?
First of all, I don't know how they're not a top 25 team. Go back to what you are talking about scheduling. They've played name somebody they haven't played. So how are they not a top 25 team, first of all? They have everything you need to be very good. They brought in Rakia Jackson. She's coming off the bench for them. They brought in Franklin from Missouri State. They've got Horston healthy. They did lose Key, their big girl inside, but they've got perimeter shooters, Puckett, Darby. They've got a distributor out front. They are a matchup nightmare. And they've played enough games against the best that we have in the game right now. Coming in here in front of the crowd we expect to have will not be a big deal to them. We are going to have to rebound. They are outstanding rebounding the ball. I think I haven't looked at all the stats in the conference, but they get like 124. They already have in 8 games 124 offensive boards. And I want to say we may be 135 or, just very small number ahead of them. So it's going to be a good basketball game.
What did you get out of yesterday?
Going to Angola, first of all, the players wanted to do that. How that came up in conversation, you guys will remember, in October, I went to the rodeo. I'd always wanted to go to the Angola rodeo. Growing up in Louisiana, it was kind of a bucket list deal. And I came back and just told them what I'd experienced. And they had so many questions, and I couldn't answer it because I just went to the rodeo and the craft show. And they said, well, would you ever take us back? And I said, if you want to go, let me know. And I left it at that. And they kept after one of my assistants, and not all of us went, not everybody. It was not mandatory, those that wanted to go. And I asked myself, why are we going? That thought just kept going through my head, is why do they want to go? And so I asked them. Several said, Coach, I'm just curious. Several said, I want to see how a prison system works. Myself, there are a lot of security guards at Angola that are season ticket holders for women's basketball. And I learned that when I went to the rodeo. They came and found me. So the kids all had different reasons. But let me make it perfectly clear. We all have victims in our families from crime, murder, whatever it is. We don't lose sight of any of that. But I took it as a learning experience because I listened to the questions they asked inmates. Now, you guys took a lot of pictures of video of them competing, and that looks happy, but it's a thought process as you're there that these are humans that made horrible mistakes, and you don't erase what they did because there are victims and families out there, and you leave there with a sense of, we just saw something, learned something, that this is the real world. But let's make it perfectly clear. We were not there supporting anything or any inmate. They've done some really bad things or they wouldn't be there. But what these young ladies learned was they didn't have to be afraid to ask a criminal a question. I'll tell you, they got to see things that y'all probably have never seen in your life. The warden was with us on a tour the entire time. Bob Starkey went with Dale Brown and his guys years ago, and he said, we went into a gym, spoke to an inmate, asked questions, and left. And Bob is probably the best one you could interview to describe what he got to see yesterday from going into the very first thing we did was death row inmates. Angel Reese got in a competition with a death row inmate. They're out there, just talking to him. Well, where's Flagey? They know us from TV. Then we got to go in where they execute them. Have y'all ever done that? It was, those kids they wanted to see everything. And then from there, they went to second largest cattle deal in our state. Did you know that? No. It's cattle everywhere. They produce their own food. They have their own fire station. They have their own doctors. They have their own post office. None of us know that. And it's 18,000 acres. So it was an educational experience with the understanding that our hearts are with victims. Our hearts are with victims and their families. And I guess the enjoyment of all of it, if you can use the word enjoyment, was we kicked some guys' asses in basketball, right? And when a woman can do that, that's a little bit of enjoyment, right?
Got time for one more question.
Okay. The camel apparently is grumpy, though. Is it Jimmy the camel?
There was a camel out there. We stopped. I don't know why there's a camel out there, but there's a camel out there. And it's something else I didn't know and learned is that the employees, the people who protect security, they live there. They have their own homes there, and there's a waiting list for others to live there. And it was an educational experience.
This is kind of the future, but it's your present, too. I just want to ask you about Aaliyah Del Rosario in your class, and then Angelica as well, the relationship that those two have had, and then coming here to LSU, and then, Aaliyah teaming up with Angel in the paint is an exciting opportunity for you.
Well, Aaliyah and Michaela both were announced as McDonald's All-Americans, but, and congratulations to them, well-deserved. But to answer your question specifically, Aaliyah is from the Dominican and Angelica is from Puerto Rican descent, and they both kind of went to school together and grew up in the New York area, New Jersey, went to school there, and played in an AAU program for a lady who just loves them as if they were her own children, and the school closed, as she shared with you, and they are now at the Webb School in rural Tennessee, and they're going to graduate together, and they're basically point guard and post, and isn't that neat? Best friends, came to school to LSU together, and it does look like a package deal, I understand, but the truth of the matter is, I would have taken either or, and they knew that from the get-go. Yes, I want both of you, but if Aaliyah decides to go elsewhere, Angelica, I want you to be a point guard for us, and vice versa. And I think that was very important to them. They visited different schools. They didn't go to visit the same schools, and we're very blessed to have them.
Thank you.